Good afternoon, everyone. Mary Sloan here with another episode of Inspirational Influencer News. Secrets of people who make money while making a tremendous difference. And that is certainly my guest today. Mariko Hirakawa, I hope I haven't killed her name, is in fact a Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. And that's a 5.5-year degree where she did all this amazing medical training. And it really gives her a chance to take her clients on a very different journey. So she's the author of a best-selling book called The Yoga of Personal Development and founder of Visionary Yoga, a premier training institute for personal mastery. So whatever you thought about yoga, whatever I thought about yoga, we can get a whole new experience of it here with Mariko. And business leaders hire Mariko to heal and transform themselves so that they can show up in their lives and business as peak performers. She has spoken at the United Nations and at Fortune 500 companies such as Verizon Wireless and Credit Suisse, and currently works with business leaders to bring yoga with a capital Y as a powerful peak performance and personal development tool to their executives. A former professional ballet dancer, as well as an Ayurvedic physician trained in India, she is dedicated to sharing the yoga as something far beyond fitness, the ultimate technology for human consciousness evolution. Thank you so much for wanting to come and spend some time with us. This is amazing. So where would you like to start so that people get the best idea of what it is that you do?
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you so much, Mary. It's an honor to be here and speaking to an audience of, entrepreneurs, business leaders. You're my people, and let's define actually yoga, because I think that as soon as you hear the word yoga, the image of like the yoga studio with the mats and the Lululemon, outfit and, stretching, comes up. And so many people tell me I can't do yoga. They've crossed it out because I'm not flexible. I'm not, I can't do that stuff. I look awkward, or they had a bad experience in a yoga class. But I just want to redefine it, because when I say yoga with a capital Y, it is something that we all do universally as human beings. For example, right now, you are focusing on something, right? Maybe you're focusing on the words I'm speaking, and then you have a certain posture, right? Maybe you reset your posture now that you become aware of your posture, right? And then you're breathing in a certain pattern. So we are practicing a certain form of yoga any given moment in the day. Now, whether it is a conscious practice or not, that is where, so really defining yoga as the art and science of becoming, really heightening your awareness, and becoming aware of awareness as you perform any given action. This is what I mean when for peak performers, heightening that awareness is very, very important, and being singular in your focus is very, very awareness. And we're living in an era where that is being really, really challenged, right? The attention deficit disorder, 1,000 different things pulling on your attention. And, and then we're living in the attention economy. So it's, if you don't take charge of your attention, like your life matters, because it actually does, whatever you pay attention to becomes your reality, and so I believe I'm in the business of just, awakening people's awareness, whether they have a practice on the mat or not, we all practice some form of focusing that life energy, focusing our soul energy, and if you want to have a fulfilling life, you better be, channeling that, the soul energy that you receive from the Almighty, into something meaningful, right? And so I believe that's why I named my company Visionary Yoga, because back when I was an Ayurvedic practitioner, I was doing hundreds of Ayurvedic consultations with people, taking their pulse and deciphering what their Ayurvedic type was and what their imbalance was, and helping them to get back into balance. But and I had long interviews, like in normal doctor's office, people would get like 5 minutes, 15 minutes and get a prescription and walk out. But with Ayurvedic, because it's so individualized, it was like a 90-minute consultation, and people will start telling me their life stories. And I realized after doing many of them that so many people, what they needed was not the perfect diet or the perfect herb, but it was really something to wake up for in the morning, right? Something that they could jump out of the bed for because they were so fired up with purpose and having a clear vision of what they wanted to channel their life force into. And so I thought, it's not really enough just to address the health, because yes, the yoga, if you think of it as the mat practice, that's the fitness dimension, the flexibility, agility, that's important. Ayurveda, it's everything you do off the mat for your wellness and your balance. And it's not just physical, it's also psychological. But the apex of the triangle, and my company's logo is actually a triangle. So it's like yoga, Ayurveda, and the vision that you must channel your life energy into. And I felt that is much more complete body work that felt fulfilling for me. And so I switched from the Ayurvedic, leading with the Ayurveda, to really leading with the vision, because I felt that was the key missing link in so many people that I spoke to. People didn't know how to live from their vision, right? Most people were, if they had a vision, they were working, struggling towards their vision, but they didn't know how to actually live from their vision. And there's a big difference between the two.
That's amazing, because I'm one of those who thought my vision was something that I had to live into, not to live from. So I would love to hear more about how you create that vision and then live from it.
Yeah, so a vision has 4 quadrants. So, well, some people have maybe 5 or 6, depending on like the multi-dimensional type of person you are. But generically, there is your wealth and health. That's your health, the wealth of your health, right? So you gotta have a working body, and if you're struggling with health, it's very hard to focus on anything else. So vitality and energy. This is the first quadrant. And it's great to have a vision around that. What will you be doing with that abundance of energy and vitality, right? And then your relationship. So many successful people. Also, I've been working with a lot of successful women, executive, powerful female, CEOs and vice presidents and powerful women who somehow they've manifested everything else but their partner or their love, and they're missing that. So relationship is so important because that's where we derive so much of our emotional fulfillment from. And then of course, vocation, right? Vocation, I like to use that word because even if you don't make money with what you do, even after retirement, vocation is what you do with your talent and your time. So it's important to channel your life force into something meaningful. Otherwise, you just can't thrive. And the fourth dimension is time and money freedom. And it's good to have a vision, a 5-dimension, like a 5-sensory filled, specific vision of what you want to create, because that vision has a certain frequency to it. That vision has a certain energy to it. And we do live in a vibrational universe. And when I ask most adult people to talk about their vision, often they start, if I had that, then I will have, or I wish I could have, but they quickly kind of, cannot get to stepping into the vision and talking about it as if it's happening, or as if it's happened already. They talk from, kind of this upstream, like, I wish I could have that, or I can't have that because this, like I can't believe how many people who just start talking about the obstacles to the vision. When I ask them to describe the vision, they'll just talk about why it can't happen. It's just because as adults, we've been trained out of using our imagination. As kids, we, lived in our imagination all the time, but then, maybe, parents or authoritative figure like teachers would say, stop daydreaming, do your homework, and so we got trained out of that visionary, what if, imaginative way of, being and thinking and emoting into just being pure mechanical, technical problem solvers. And it's useful. I'm not poo-pooing that part of our brain that solves problems. It's very, very useful. But if we're just like always just trying to solve problems, then we're always focused on a reticular activating system, right? Our brain has a mechanism called the reticular activating system, which it filters through the thousands, millions of impressions that are coming at us through all the 5 portals of our senses, our eyes, our ears, our olfactory sense, our touch, and our taste. They're receiving so much information every second of our life, and that's being recorded. But to keep us from going insane, the reticular activated system filters out most of the things and just allows us to focus on that which we think is relevant. And so most of us have a reticular activated system that's been tuned to the problem. So we keep seeing problem and negativity everywhere. And when we focus on, problems, that becomes a reality, and then we react to that reality and create, it's a self-propagating thing. We solve that problem, there's another problem, we solve that problem. So we become perpetual problem solvers, but that's not really living from our vision, because living from your visions, it means I'm going to choose, I'm going to choose the big problem that I'm going to, tackle. I'm going to choose what I'm going to focus on, and I'm going to tune my reticular activating system to filter for the evidence of my vision coming true, And so it's a training. It's a training that it's very rare for most people on planet Earth to have ever received, because the predominant programming on planet Earth is, survival. Survival.
There's 2 people out there that come to mind as people who probably live this, and I'd love your opinion on it. Elon Musk is one of them, because he, as I view him, gets a vision. Where it comes from, I'm not sure, probably because he lives as a human being in the world and sees where people are going. And, it's like Tesla. Where did Tesla come from? Well, Elon Musk realized that, if we were going to change the world from being a gas guzzling world to being able to do something with electricity, which was cleaner and wouldn't have as much harm for the environment, then that's where they needed to go. And so having seen that, and he's got so many companies. I mean, Elon just trying to keep track of what he does, the boring company, where he's got this machine that just bores channels for cities and governments. That there's another problem that he saw. Well, people keep doing it this way. That's a dumb way to do it. Why don't we do it like this? And I mean, truly somebody who is a visionary. And then Richard Branson is another person, who just sees a bigger vision and starts creating that vision instead of seeing the problem. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Absolutely. For example, Elon Musk, he has for his Mars mission, for his Falcon X and all those projects. In his office, he has, as you enter, he has a poster of Mars as it is now, a barren kind of red planet, and then his vision of Mars, which is colonized and has amazing, infrastructure, and is inhabited, and so he has those 2 like right as you enter. And so and that's exactly how we've got to do it, because the whole concept of vision board, and people might roll their eyes and say, but it is because the mind thinks in pictures. The subconscious mind thinks in pictures. So it's very powerful to have literally, so that you don't have to conjure it, you don't have to make an effort to think of that vision. It's very useful if you can do that, but most of us get carried, get kind of sucked into the minutia of the day. But when you have the vision board, it's just reminding you in full color. It's great to have it in color, and it's great to have a physical vision board, not just a digital one, but, and to be able to imprint into your subconscious every day that, and when you look at it, you want to smile, you want to have positive expectation, and kind of like stepping into the certainty that, yes, this is becoming, having that certainty is so important. I think that's one of the things that, and if you look at both of them, they have such a kind of a colorful, personality now that often they get ridiculed, because they seem to be, to the normal person, like such dreamers, like way ungrounded and just like these dreamers. But really, if it weren't for people who dared to use their imagination and dare to actualize the vision that is living in their imagination, our society, those are the people who, push the boundaries and evolve the human species to the next level. So we've got to thank them, and they're willing to, that they have the security, or they're grounded enough in their vision. They're so, the vision is more real to them than perhaps the ridicule that the world hurls at them. And that is kind of a very rare, species of people. But we've got to thank those people, because it's really, without them, the possibilities, that of our society, our human world evolving would be much narrower, much slower, right? So and it's, look at the Wright brothers, look at the, all the visionaries who actually did incredible things. They were ridiculed first, because people were just scoffing at them, they think that these loonies think that the metal can fly in air. Isn't that ridiculous? And people will just their own, closest ones would, be the most cruel, and because they came from a very orthodox religious upbringing, and they got a lot of flack from that society. But despite that, their devotion, their belief to their vision, their faith, their belief in their vision was so strong. And it's kind of, that's what I mean by living from your vision. The vision actually, kind of like possesses you. It possesses you, and it's got to be an obsession that possesses you. Then you become a vibrational match to that vision. Then it's like you, to the exclusion of everything else, you start putting one foot in front of the other. And it's important for visionaries to really do what you can with what you've got, because the vision is, by definition, it's going to be way beyond where you are now. So it's normal that it feels out of reach right now. But so this is where the yogic part really helps, because yogis are beings who, they never philosophize without living that philosophy. It has to, they put the premium importance on making that thing a part of their direct personal experience. So you've got to really be able to live, meaning touch, taste, see, smell, all five sensories involved vision, and have it be so real inside, as a vision inside. And, let it thoroughly like color you, like cotton white, fabric would get dyed, the fabric, it takes on the color. We want to be dyed in the vibration of the vision, and then you become that vision. And then when you take proactive action, some people say, okay, just, visualize it and, say your affirmation and it will happen. But I think that's a little bit lazy. I think that you do need to take proactive action. And it's also, those actions are going to require you to step beyond your limiting thoughts and emotions. Need to get out of the box of the previous definition of you, because in order to realize your vision, you have to step out of the small box that was your self-definition of who you are. So you have to become a bigger person, actually. So your identity begins to shift as you go for that vision, which is bigger than you.
That's great. And what I love about that whole bringing the yogic mind into it, because there's so much out there, think it and it'll happen, or believe it and it'll occur. Well,
Right.
that's not true, because, you know, if in fact you truly believe something is happening, you have to act in accordance with it. You
That's
know,
right.
like, I mean, it's sort of like, if you really, you know, it's like building a building, right? You would never sort of go, oh, I believe this office tower will appear. I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to appear. You know, people would go, you're out of your mind. That isn't how building happens. But
Right.
yet, there somehow or other, it's gotten confused in our mind that,
Yes.
you know, oh, I want, you know, a business that gives me $1 million income. I'll just sit here and wait for it to come to me. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yes.
just not going to happen. And
Right.
so, and then they go, well, that doesn't work. And it's like,
Yeah.
no,
So there are
you
steps.
didn't work.
There are steps. So, you know, having the vision, like I work in 5 different arenas with my clients, you know. So one is like, yes, you got to have a clear vision, which is, you know, and then the vision can evolve, the vision can shift, because as you know, move forward, as you progress and work toward, you know, in the beginning, you feel like you're working towards the vision. As you do that, every bold step you take, you know, your landscape changes. So the vision may shift a little bit, you know, but so this one is like dialing in your vision. The second is strategizing, you know, creating a strategy. You need a plan. So this is where, you know, what you're talking about is like, you know, people just envisioning and affirming without a plan, you know, plans get executed, right? So it's good to, it's important to have a plan. And this is again, in the whole yoga world, there's this whole kind of cliche way of saying, you know, be in the moment, and, you know, don't think about, you know, the future or the past and stuff. But planning is important, you know, planning and tuning, as you tune into the energy of your vision, as you tune into that vision. And I, you know, when I have an event called Vision to Reality Live, and this is where I take people through the process of reverse engineering from that big picture vision. And then I have this process of, you know, they write all the, you know, without editing, all the things that, you know, playing the movie backwards from the vision realized to where they are now. So they're creating a bridge between the vision and where they are now. And then they will just, you know, whatever ideas come to them of the steps that would have needed to happen in order to reach that vision, they will just fill up like 50 index cards, you know, and some of those steps will be milestones, and some of them will be like more smaller mini feats. So I have them kind of organize it into the logical chronological order. So they have now a kind of a bridge between having built from the vision back to where they are, which is the most efficient way to do it, not from here to there. When you do it from the vision to here, this is how GPS system works, right? When you're trying to get to a destination, you always type in the, you know, the destination address first. So, and having a specific destination defined allows that specificity, allows the computer, allows the satellite to, you know, calculate, you know, the route back to where you are, and then you're able to follow the GPS from here to there, right? So in the same process, from the vision, you know, with as crystal clarity as you can, you reverse engineer it, and then there will be staircase of milestones, bigger, you know, milestones which can become your goals, you know, and mini feats. And so then you have a chronological step by step. But when you are very attuned to the vision, sometimes as you take real time, you know, steady, you know, effort towards the vision, sometimes you're able to take a quantum leap and skip over a few steps because that vibrational law of attraction thing is starting to kick in. But we can't, you know, don't rely on it, but, you know, cooperate with it, you know, is my thing. Use both your logical brain of your left brain and your visionary right brain. And you've got to marry the two and skillfully intertwine them with practicality. See, practicality and mysticism, they are not two separate things. You know, this is the beauty of yoga, that practicality and mysticism, that mystical dimension, they must be like intertwined. We have poses like this in yoga. It's like the yin and the yang of it, you know. There's the science of it, there's the art of it. And we've got to be able to skillfully bring them together in order to forge that real path towards manifesting your vision. And so it's good to start with, you know, things that feel attainable first. And then, you grow that muscle of belief. I think so. The 5 arenas I work with clients is like, okay, dial in your vision, then strategize towards the vision. And I teach people how to befriend their doubts and fears, because often the inner obstacles that come up is like, the doubt and the fears are the biggest obstacles. So how to put them as befriending them as like wind in your back, wind in your sail instead of the obstacle in front of you. And then
that's interesting. I mean,
yeah,
I've never, ever, ever heard of putting, doubt and fear, which of course come up every time we're going to
yes,
take a new adventure or start something new. But I never kind of thought about putting them as the wind that can get
yeah,
behind you as you start to kind of take action.
yeah. So I can speak to that because yes, everybody does have fears and doubts, even the greatest visionaries. I mean, they had huge fears and doubts, I'm sure, because they has taken on such a big vision and so much responsibility. And the thing is that so many personal development gurus talk about fear as if it's a bad thing. They poo-poo the fear. They make doubt a bad thing, and it makes it sound like you're supposed to beat them up and crush them. You're gonna crush that fear. But I think that it's actually I take the opposite approach, because when you try to do this to something, when you do this, then what happens? Actually, if you're in like a pond of water and you do this, the water actually circles and comes back to you again. And so you can never, the thing to do is to transmute the fear. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy can only be transformed. So fear is actually a very potent energy. Fear is the energy of survival, that contractive force. And when it is unconscious, then it can become a block to you. But when you consciously go, okay, fear, I'm not going to make you the bad guy. I'm not going to be afraid of a fear. I'm not going to make you the bad thing. You are my equal. Fear, you are my equal. I honor you because you're a sacred part of me. And you actually respect the fear. You give fear respect. You give fear, bring it into the light of consciousness. And then, okay, fear, what wisdom do you have for me? You talk to your fear like this with respect, as a sacred part of you that holds wisdom. And then you listen to that fear and you put pen to paper and you write down all the things that, the fear is telling you. Well, this could happen, that could happen, all the worried thoughts, you put it down on the paper out of your head, and then it's the same with doubts. I tell people to have a journal, and at the back of the journal, have a specific place just to dump your fear and doubt. And in that space, you're going to look at that fear. First, when you objectify it, you're going to see, well, okay, how likely are the odds of that, but you can build it into your strategy. Now the fear has given you its valuable intel. The doubts have given you the valuable intel that this can happen, that can happen, this scenario can happen. So now, yes, okay, thank you so much for making me aware of that. I can strategize around that so that when I hit an obstacle, I have a strategy. When I hit an obstacle, it doesn't stop me. I have a strategy to either move through it, move below it, move above it, So when you expect the obstacle, then it's, you can go beyond it, So that way it becomes like a little ambassador, like a little sitting on your board of advisors telling you, cautioning you, right? It becomes your caution, not a block. So strategy is so important, right? And then the other thing that's important is your environment. Your environment, optimizing your environment is so important. So we have the office environment, the physical environment. We also now have digital environment. Like, is your computer and phone, are they actually your helpers, or are they your obstacles? Are they distracting you? Like, you have a gazillion tabs open and it's a big hot mess, your computer, or is it actually a wonderful resource that allows you to achieve amazing things? So digital environment is also there. And then there's the people environment. And then there's the vibrational environment. So these four types of environments can be optimized so that we put more friction around the things that are detrimental to us. You know, we all have habits that are like our negative habits that we want to stay away from. And we can make those things harder to do by, you know, maybe not having some things in the house. Like if you notice that you've been drinking too much wine, then like don't put alcohol in your fridge, right? Don't keep alcohol in your fridge. Or if you notice that you've been having too many sweets or sugar or whatever, then, you know, just purge your environment of those, you know, unhealthy sweets, and instead cut up some fruits and just optimize your environment so that, you know, it's easier to do the right thing, you know. And so that's optimizing environment. And then the fourth is skills. You know, there are many kinds of skills that we can upgrade, you know, and that thinking from your vision is one of the skills. You know, activating your imagination is a skill. You know, five dimensionalizing your vision is a skill. You know, thinking in terms of possibility, not problem, is, you know, not problem focused, but possibility focused is another kind of skill. So we all have skills that is required to reach our next level self. And then lastly, we have mindset and heart set, which I believe that so much of it is getting the physiology right. You know, the yogis were amazing. You know, 5,000 years ago, they understood that your posture created so much of your mood and your psychological state of being, you know, right? Like if you sit like this at the computer, your thinking starts to also get so congested, you know, and because you can't breathe properly. And when you take shallow breaths, you can only have certain kinds of thought frequency, you know. When you breathe deep and slow and you're more in the parasympathetic nervous system activated state, then you're calm, then you're a deep thinker, and you can see through, you know, all this noise to the essence of the matter, you know. So I believe that, you know, for mindset and heart, this is where I feel I shine as visionary yoga mentor for so many of my people, is just I help people with releasing from their physiology so many block, you know, the fear block, the doubt block, the insecurity block, and so get them really aligned physically as well as, you know, mentally, energetically, and four levels, you know, physiology, psychology, emotions, and energy. These four dimensions of you must be flowing in the same direction, right? A lot of us have conflicting thoughts to emotions, and our energy is saying another thing, so it's not aligned, and then you create your own suffering, you know. So to have a fulfilled life, you know, you got to have all those things, you know, kind of flowing in one direction. So that's, you know, it's really the essence of yoga.
Mariko, I can't believe it, but we are running out of time.
I know.
We are totally running out of time. And I could talk to you for hours. It was so interesting. And, you know, I mean, just such a different impression or vision of how to use your vision, and how to use fear, and how to use, you know, make them all your allies. They've got
That's right.
information for you. Thank them for it. I mean, just wow. Thank you so much. This was just wonderful. So how can people get hold of you?
Yeah, so great news. I mean, every month I open about 7 slots to hold what I call the Vision Accelerator session. This is like a full-on session, 45 minutes where I show up just like this, and I have a whole process to help you get clear on your vision, but also often it ends up being up-leveled to the next level. And then, you know, we work on clarifying that and identifying the obstacles. And people are always surprised, you know, what the unseen, unconscious, hidden obstacles come up. And it's very good to, that's part of the reason, you know, it's good to do in a one-on-one setting like this. And then, you know, people often leave just very motivated to go for their vision because it was sleeping in the backdrop like this, and now it's like in the foreground. So if any of you are inspired to, you know, give your vision and your dreams a new life, hey, we only have like 2 months of the year left, but it's not too late to, really, put a fire under your 2022 vision, 2022 goals, and finish the year strong, So if you like to avail that, I just have right now, actually, I have 4 slots left now. So it's, you can go to www.visionarysession, singular, visionarysession.com. And I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you so much, Mary, for having me.
Oh, thank you. I mean, you've been such a gift to the audience and to me, giving me, a whole other way to look at it. So I really appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you around LinkedIn. Maybe I'll go take a look at my schedule, see if one of those spots fits for me. That sounds
absolutely. I'd love
cool.
to hold your vision for you, Mary. Yes, absolutely. You're doing
so
amazing
tell
things.
Me again. I didn't write it down, so I'm going to write
Visionarysession.com.
Visionarysession.com. Okay, and that's obviously a redirect, so don't put anything in front of that.
Exactly. And yeah, right now we are in November. This is an amazing time because we just had an eclipse, and eclipses are meant for really quantum leaps. It's a really amazing window of time we're in right now. So whatever intention for, if you intend on manifesting something before the year is up, it's a great time to really focus on that very deeply and really take it seriously. Don't think, it's astrology, all that woo-woo stuff, it doesn't matter. No, just whatever you pay attention to and whatever you have the power to, give a reality to your vision. You have that ability. We often disempower ourselves. So right now is a great time. It's 11/11 portal is coming, right? Today is the 9th. Then on Friday, which is again a day ruled by Venus, a very amazing energy day for really meditate on your vision, write it down, do some affirmations around it, visualize it, 5-dimensionalize it, and step into that vision. And if you want to schedule your visionary session that day, that'll be a great day to do it, because it's heightened energy. We're living in times of accelerated evolution, and so we should really utilize the support that in the subtle atmosphere. There's so much higher frequency energy available now on planet Earth than ever before, truly. So I wanted to,
that's really interesting.
And it's scientifically measured, So it's the gamma. I mean, really, the Earth's magnetic shield is weakening. So there's more porosity in the Earth's atmosphere, and so it's allowing more cosmic rays to shower the Earth. And scientists who measure the Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's resonance, Earth atmosphere resonance, it's like normally it's at a 7.4 hertz, and now it's like 7 times that, like 37. So it's like It shows how much literally measurable frequency difference in the atmosphere we're living in. So don't think it's just woo-woo stuff that the astrologers are saying. Astronomers and scientists who are measuring this are saying this. So we've got to, if we are receptive, the energy and support is there to actualize our vision. So let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Have a beautiful day, Mary.